What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? You already know what time it is. This is your boy, the historian, better known as Ryan Walker. Hey, before we get this thing started, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button for us so we can go ahead and get this show started for you. So we'll see you then. We'll see you then. We're gonna make sure we get everything squared away and situated. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and we got you covered on this one here. It's the bird cage. We in the building. Let's go.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
Back in the place to be. You already know what it is, man. Let's get to it, dog. I'm ready for this game this Sunday, and so is the people that's gonna be presenting this thing with me today, baby. You already know how we get down. You either get right or you get left. So before further ado, I gotta bring in the guy, my right-hand man, Mr. Killer K-Dub Worthy. And then we also got another sneak peek with another guy that's gonna be sliding in, that's been doing his thing, cooking up with the young Bucs. We got Coach Cam in the building. What's going on, fellas?
What up, baby?
K-Dub, your mic's muted, big dog. And while you're unmuting your mic, we're going to go ahead and add the gray one to the set.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's going on?
Hey,
ready to get up in here, man. We got K-Dub's sound was a little off, but we got it, man. So we waiting on our partner to get up in here. So what's going on with y'all boys tonight, man? While we waiting on K-Dub.
K-Dub, man. With all due respect, man, we can't be homies on Saturday between the hours of 3:30 and 7. Go Army, beat Navy.
The trash talk has started.
Go Army, beat Navy.
Okay,
Too much at stake.
Can you hear me now?
Go Army, beat
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. We hear you perfectly, brother.
Okay, no. Oh no, I hear you over there, man. It's all day, man. Hey, look,
Hey, man,
but great to be in the building tonight. All the listeners, subscribers out there. Hey, look, great to be in the building, man. Let's go. Let's get into it, man.
Hey, man.
Hey,
whoever wins get to go to a bowl game.
Hey, look at it like this, man. I'm an Army brat, so you know what I'm saying. So you know I got to roll with them boys in green. My father was in the Army, grandfather. You know I got some partners that was Navy, so you know I'm sorry. No, I'm a water boy too, but you know I gotta ride with the ground and pound.
Right choice, the correct choice.
Well, I was born into that, so you know I ain't have no choice. Hey man, you know we get ready to keep this thing live tonight, man. We finna have some fun tonight with this one here, but we got a lot of stuff we got to get to. Coach Cam, how's it out there in the desert?
Cold.
Yeah, I am like hot and cold. It sounds about right.
Hey, what you say is about right as a right winger today, huh?
Today was our high was 57.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 59.
Okay.
We were 59
Man,
today.
all I'm gonna say is y'all can have that.
We were 59 today.
Hey man, I look at it like this, man. It's just one of those things where, you know, I don't want to hear none of y'all jokers complaining because I had a little snow today, and it was probably it was probably about 29 to 37 a day. You know what I'm saying? But it felt a lot warmer, being honest.
Georgia don't need no snow. You already know that, man.
Yeah, because half the folks around there can't drive.
They can't drive in dry weather. What in the world I want to see in the snow?
Well, think about it, man. You got a whole bunch of them New Yorkers and all them folks down there, man. So what you expect, bro?
Car accident.
They come down south and they get stuck. So, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get to this thing today and talk a little something about it or whatnot. So, the thing that we got going right now is, let's see how we're going to start this today. I just want to make sure that we do this thing right. Let's talk about Bankhead Bates and Ryan Neilsen. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Hey.
Let's get it.
We're going back old school a little bit with that one. But let's talk about it, man. Bankhead Bates is now in a position where he's literally the alpha dog of this defense, and he's become the leader of this defense. Now, you think it would be a linebacker that would be the one that's a leader, but the value that this guy has brought to the table has literally been more than enough. So, thinking about this, I'm going to go ahead and say it like this. You have Jessie Bates coming in here doing his thing. You see a whole bunch of stuff that's going down. All I can say is, man, it's how can I put it? $64 million. You come in with the expectations that you have. You're leading the team with interceptions right now. You're pretty much high on the list with tackles this year. And, you know, you really have not missed too many assignments. Yeah, we lost some games, but even when we've lost, he's still stood out like a sore thumb. So I want you guys to talk about the impact that you guys that think that Jessie Bates has had, or what do you see is going on with the transformation in this defense? Because we haven't had a leader on this defense like this since the hammer, Jessie Tucker. So what do you guys think?
I mean, I think it comes down to the attitude. I mean, he brings a certain attitude and expectation to this defense that we didn't have in a long time. So I look at it like that. We always wanted another voice in the locker room besides freaking Grady Jarrett, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And we got that with Bankhead Bates, man. He's been the quarterback to the secondary. I mean, along with the guidance of Coach Gray and whatnot, the defensive back coach, man, they have really solidified at the back end of our defense. And not minute of that, man, they gave him a little bit of swagger, man. I mean, then you add. I mean, we got more we've been more confident in our secondary this year than we don't been in the past 5 or 6 years. It's not in there. It's not even close. So it's just his impact alone has made this defense a top 10 defense. Just one signing.
Yeah, to piggyback off what Gray Beard was saying, I mean, he's just been a catalyst for the defense. It was a spot on the spot, tail on the donkey, hire for us. I mean, we singled him out in the off season. We pursued him and we got him. So kudos to the front office. Kudos to Arthur Smith and Terry Fontenot for, identifying a guy that was going to change the defense. I'm in favor of getting some kind of bonus check. That's what I feel. Even
you just got paid.
I mean, I know he just got paid, but like a Christmas bonus check or something of that nature, because I think he deserves that. I mean, I have no problem with him getting that in my eyes. But I mean, I just feel like that secondary has really had someone to show them how to be a pro, how to be an all pro. You know, how to come to work, how to watch film. Just how to play the position at a high level. So having him on that back end is going to even help the cornerbacks also, because it's all about how you approach the game, taking perfect angles and great angles when you're trying to tackle, and dissecting the offense and knowing what offenses that they're in, and being able to watch the quarterback eyes and things of that nature. So like I say, Bankhead Bates is a great addition to the offense, and I just feel like we got to keep him healthy. And I feel like, we're going to go on our run now later in the season. And like I said, this game coming up, I'll be in the building. I don't like when we lose when I'm in the building. So let's go Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. When it comes to Bates, the one thing that, we haven't had in a long time was that guy who controls the entire defense. With his experience coming from the Super Bowl, he's now holding player only meetings prior to the coaches meeting. So he's breaking down film with the guys. He's showing them where they might have missed the matchup, or they might have missed an assignment. He's going over film with them. He's breaking it down to assist them on how to be better the following week. So when you have a voice like that in your locker room, it's not only going to make you better, but the young guys they have someone to look up to because they have that professional in there. So you don't have a whole bunch of young guys and egos getting in the way. You have someone who's going to step up and hold people accountable, because he's showing that he lives by what he speaks. So as long as he continues to be the example in the locker room, being the first guy in, the last guy out, it's only going to, bring dividends to the defense even more as we move on during the season and hopefully into the playoffs. So as long as we have Coach Gray and Coach Neilsen relying on Jessie, it's only going to be up from here with guys like Helms and CP3. When we get Landman back, I don't know if he's coming back this week or next week, but once you get those two guys back, they control the ebb and flow of the defense. So as long as you have those two coaches on the field to put people in the right position and put them in their gap assignments, I don't see how we can get worse. Outside of the 2 weeks that we played terribly, we've overall been a top 10 defense, like Graybeard said. So he's been an immediate impact since we signed him.
Day one.
He came in with what, 2 picks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he came. You got to remember, he came in hot as a firecracker when he started, coming up hitting folks, and he's also putting some things in there and whatnot. It's just one of those things and whatnot, and all you can do is just sit back and say, "Wow, this has been nuts and whatnot." You know what I'm saying? When you talk about how everything has showed up or how everything has happened. So when you look back at it, the question is this: are we going to be in a situation to where he's going to be really the leader of this defense? I think his master at arms is Calais Campbell.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Especially when Grady Jarrett went down, Calais Campbell had been more of a vocal leader than anything, along with Backhand Bake. That this team have desired and wanted for a very long time. Even though Grady had been here for so long, he needed another voice. He needed another captain.
I agree with you on that. And the whole thing is, it's just like, man, all you can do is just sit back and just smile, because it's a beautiful thing right now.
Oh, it's beautiful. Damn beautiful.
Beautiful.
And we've been talking about a defense for the longest, and we've also been in a situation where we're trying to get some stuff.
So, I mean, I just like the fact that how everybody's just bought in. When Jackie, like, he can't have the players only meetings, man, have been such a. 'Cause, he like Coach Cam saying, identify a different scheme that offense can like to run or whatnot, and then on top of that, the communication between the players as well. So you bring in all that intangibles along, man. Helen is going to get better. D Alpha is going to get better. I mean, that alone right there is what we need on the defense. What we've been desiring for a very, very long time. So, man, Terry Fontenot, salute.
Yeah, man, this defense is it's really, like I said, it's going to take this next step, and I think that going to get those bargain basement deals and having him as a GM and not breaking the bank and going to get some of those guys we thought about going to get at the trade deadline was a smart move by Terry Fontenot, because these guys he went and got off these practice squads were ready to play, because we've had some drop off of Grady Jarrett there, but not too much of a drop off. We still able to go out there and win ball games with that defense. So I think Terry Fontenot needs another pat on the back, man, because he's doing his part. You just got to coach up the guys that you have on the field, and I believe this team can at least get one win in the playoffs, at least that.
Absolutely. And like we've talked about before, getting into the playoffs is going to be more so of, a certain level of attention to detail.
Yeah.
And with the way our defense plays, it's geared towards that kind of drag out knuckle fight, you know what I'm saying? And when they play as well as they have, once we get that run game back to where it is, we're going to be a hard out. I mean, we have to truly put the stamp on the defense this season, because they've carried us to 5 of the 6 victories on their back. And that's just being truthful. Like, I don't want to jump on the offense, but the defense has carried this team for the majority of the season.
Yeah, exactly. But we invested that big check, then we invested all that money to this defense. So it was money well spent.
Oh yeah.
I said we have the philosophy of we seem to draft now our franchise history better offensively than we do defensively. Mm-hmm. So the philosophy of going to get our defense in our free agency is working for us. Get our defense in the free agency and continue to draft offensive players, because we seem to do that on a great pace.
So getting back to it, I apologize if I didn't put that out there or whatnot. I'll say we didn't advertise. I'm sorry, we didn't advertise the fans for tonight. I know we were supposed to be doing that, but we got a lot of stuff that we're going to be covering tonight. So we're not going to be letting fans in tonight to chop it up with us, because we got a lot of stuff we got to cover tonight. So we want to make sure that we get to our points tonight. On Sunday, we got you. We got you on Sunday, and also when we have another rival game. But this is what's going on. So getting back to it, the next thing that we have that's going on with the Falcons outside of Ryan Neilsen, the defense continues to carry the offense. And the issue is this: we've got to score points. Uh-huh. You've got to score points when it comes down to it. And what's going to happen is this: your defense and your run game travel. You're going to have to figure out what you're going to do in the playoffs, because here's the thing. You're either going to be playing Philly or Dallas if you win this division. There's no getting around it. We already have seen the hypotheticals, but those are the 2 teams that you're going to be playing. So it's a chance that they can both be beat, because if you can run the ball on them, you can beat them. Now, if you go in here playing inconsistent and you put yourself in a situation to where you're going to be relying on this passing game, and not just the passing game, it's going to be ridiculous. So the one thing that we can do, the one thing that the Falcons can do starting off, I really believe that the Falcons can put themselves in a situation to where they can actually score points and kill the clock and wear down their defense. And you can still use your tight ends and you still can use your passing game, but you're also going to have to use Ritter's legs. That is something that you're going to have to start doing. I know we don't have anybody behind him, but games.
Yes.
So when we get into these playoff games, you're going to have to play into a tight phone booth. And with us playing into a phone booth type of game, that plays in our favor with Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson. So we're going to have to put those guys in position to do well. So that's pretty much what I have with the offense needing to change. Just figure out this identity. Just go ahead and run the ball. That's what we do. Run the ball. You can pass it and do your thing, but you don't want to put Ritter in harm's way when it comes down to the playoffs because eventually he's going to have to throw. But at this point, you don't want to gamble when you have the division lined up for you to win this game. Go ahead and establish your will and go ahead and take these wins and let's get to the playoffs.
I mean, we keep harping on the same thing each week about him using his legs. That's got to be established in the playbook. He uses legs.
Uh-oh. You're muted, K-Dub. Well, since K-Dub is fixing that or whatnot, Coach Cam, what you got?
I'm gonna just piggyback on what you said. This is gonna be a phone booth type of game. And it starts with Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson. You have your Lightning, you have your Thunder and Lightning. You let them beat up the defensive line with those 4 or 5 yards of carry. Because if you look at this past Sunday, Tyler Algier was getting those hard, gritty 5-6 yard carries every time he touched the ball. If you look at Cordero, he was getting 3 and 4 yards of carry. And then when you look at Bijan, he was getting 2 yards of carry. He's not a between the tackles runner. He was never that in college. He wasn't that in high school. He's an outside guy. He's more of he's a one-read, jump cut type of running back. When you have a guy like Tyler Algier who's going to take maybe 1 or 2 steps and he's going up the field and he's going to lay the boom on who's ever in front of him, as that continues to go on during the game, players get winded. Then they get timid of tackling because, especially if we have to play outside in frigid weather, those body hits hurt. Mm-hmm. And a guy like a CP, when you got Cordero, 6'2", 220, 240, and he's the way that he runs angry, and he runs pad level. He doesn't run high. Bijan hasn't learned that quite yet. He still runs very, very high. That's why he's had so many fumbles. He doesn't run to his pads. Tyler Algier, he's a smaller back, a wider back, and he's going to take 2 steps to the line, and he's going upfield. He's not an east-west guy. He's north and south. Once you start to demand respect and defenses start to load the box, that's when Ritter has the ability to go play action. Or we can even go hurry up. Because once we get in a rhythm, it's going to be hard to take us out of it. But we have to, Arthur has to get out of his own way and stop trying to prove to everyone that Bijan was the right pick. He has to go with the tried and true bread and butter. You have a 1,000-yard rusher from last season. Allow this man to be the catalyst to the offense. He's proven what he can do. He's shown what he can do. And then you have a guy like CP who can run the ball. He's a great blocker. And then if you get him in open field, good luck. Because our receivers aren't the greatest at creating separation. So how do you alleviate that? Run the ball. And then those guys are going to suck in. They're going to try to blitz or whatever. Pockets of population. And then that's when you get your inside slants. You get your dig routes. You get your go routes. It all starts off of the run. And Ritter has to get to a mindset of not trying to play hero football. You run a 4-3. Use your legs. Use your legs. Because now they're going to have to scheme or they're going to have to put a quarterback, a spy there. And guess what? When you have someone like a Cordero Hodge who can get behind the defense, he's going to find that green grass and he's going to sit. Same thing with Scotty.
Wait a minute.
We have the guys, but we're moving away from the identity that was supposedly supposed to be who we were from jump, which is a grind the ball football team. Now we're trying to put the game in Desmond Ritter's hands, and he's not there yet. As he was a great college quarterback, but the game from college to the NFL is a lot faster. They're a lot stronger. They're a lot smarter. So we're not in a position to put the game in his hands and let him will and deal like a Peyton Manning or a Brett Favre. We have to lean on our run game, and once we get that going, now we can allow him to do 3-step drops, 5-step drops, and now we're good. So we just got to get that run game going.
But here's the thing. We talked about Tyler Algier being in the passing game. Yeah, he can catch, but here's the thing. That's not his strong suit. He's decent at it, but that is not his strong suit. Shout out to Wingman Auto Garage. Y'all check out those videos. If you need to fix your cars, handymen out here that love to fix, do your thing. Our boy Turbo definitely has some great insight for you. So just wanted to make sure we shouted that out. So, a few things he showed me that I've done on my car. So, hey, it's just what it is. But getting back to it, I got to disagree with you on that. His strong suit is not in that passing game, Turbo. His thing is he is a violent runner. If you get him with a full head of steam in the screen game, then it becomes dangerous. But when you talk about a guy that can make you miss in a phone booth, that's Bijan Robinson. You have to use Bijan Robinson in your screen game or pretty much your passing game with your running backs because he's more elusive and he's got a little bit more pop with his step. Cordell Patterson is another guy who you use in that passing game. Algier is your battering ram. And if you have all three of them on the field at the same time, that creates mismatches for the defense because a safety ain't going to run with Cordell Patterson.
No.
A cornerback can run with him, but he's not going to want to tackle him. Then you have these linebackers. These linebackers are going to get tired of pretty much beating up on Tyler Algier because it's going to wear on them. They're going to get tired from chasing him and hitting him. So when it comes to it, all you can do is just sit back and say, all right, we got to get somebody that's competent as an OC that's not a yes man because you have diamonds. You have 3 diamonds in the backfield. That's the best way to describe it. And when you talk about the diamonds that you have in the backfield, they're all unique in their own way. They're all unique. They're all cut differently, even though they shine the same. They're just cut differently. Now, CP adds an element to being a special teamer, punt return, kick return, and then he's also in a situation to where he can come out of the backfield as a pass catcher. He can line up as a receiver and do what he does. But he's a physical guy, and he will wear you down. And now you also have Bijan Robinson, who can line up in the slot, who can also line up coming out of the backfield. I mean, here's the thing. If Bijan runs between the tackles, it's going to be a counter. That's pretty much what it's going to be. Because Bijan is a guy that can – how can I put it? Bijan is a guy that actually really can find space when there is no space. Yeah. That's the type of runner he is. And when you look at the counter tray, it's there all day. That tray, that's one thing I got to give Drew Dalman his credit for because we're going to get to him in a minute. But Drew Dalman definitely opens up holes when you run that counter. But you have to be able to offset that counter with some screens. You have to run some slants. You have to start using big body receivers where, okay, instead of you trying to hum it downfield to these guys, what you need to do is put them in a position to where they can box out, use their body size, and move the chains. Yep. Don't try to be something that you aren't. If you're not built for, how can I put it? You don't see a government mule in the Kentucky Derby. You just don't. You got thoroughbred. If you're not going to run with your thoroughbred, if you don't have a thoroughbred to run to go get it, stop trying to make a plow mule Seabiscuit. That's not good. Stop doing it. Go ahead and start putting these guys in positions to use their strengths because the way that the NFL is built now is high speed, quick strike. You're built to wear people down and beat them down. And if you're going to have that type of team in the playoffs playing against a team like Philly and Dallas, it'll work to your advantage. You just got to be consistent with calling those plays to get those guys set up. So,
I mean, it all comes down to Arthur Smith checking his ego. Like I said, man, and let he get his ego checked, the offense will not reach its maximum potential.
It won't.
I mean, it won't. I mean, because if you take the Jets game from last week, Tyler Algier was averaging 4.5 yards to carry to almost 5 yards a carry. He took him out almost all of the fourth quarter. Yeah. Bijan was getting along. Don't get it twisted. Bijan was making plays, but to Cam's point last Sunday, that was a Tyler Algier game. Tyler Algier should have had at least $150 in that game.
Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson.
Right.
They should have been. Me and K-Dub, go ahead. We can't hear you. So while he's doing that, now we called this out in the back and pretty much in the chat last Sunday. We all said, and I said this in the game. I said this before last week, and you can check the video. I said that's a Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson type game. Bijan should have not. I mean, in the passing game and the screens, I give him that. You use him, but you shouldn't have had a heavy dose of Bijan in that game. That should have been Tyler Algier and Cordell Patterson weighing them jokers out. Period. Or if you're gonna run Bijan, you put the ball in his hands, running the traps against that defensive line. You use his speed and you use what he can do. But Arthur Smith, he doesn't have. Here's the thing. I'm gonna stop saying he has an ego.
What he has is
what we call low self-esteem.
That's work.
You know what I'm saying? He has a low self-esteem. And when you have people with low self-esteem, they're going to try to find any kind of way to make themselves look good because they don't want to look incorrect, and they don't want to be wrong about what they've made mistakes on and what they've said. Arthur Smith is that type of dude. If everybody hadn't paid attention to that yet, Arthur Smith is that guy.
Yeah.
He's made some good calls. I can't take anything away from him because he's had games to where he's called a masterful game. And then the next week, it's like, dog, it's like the best way to describe it is Arthur Smith has the Buster Douglas type syndrome. You have a perfectly called game, kind of like how Buster Douglas was as a fighter. You got the potential to be one of the best fighters at the time. You beat the baddest man on the planet. You got a chance to do that coming up, and you call perfect games. Then you get out of shape. You get complacent when people start patting you on the back, shaking your hand, and next thing you know, you get hit in the mouth by somebody like how Evander Holyfield hit Buster Douglas and took his title from him. That's pretty much the type of head coach we have. But K-Dub, go ahead, man, because you'll see you back in here. Let's see if your sound's working now.
Can everybody hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Well, what I was saying about Coach Smith is it's gonna take something for him to go and do the Tyler Algier thing. It's gonna have to be his pet toy or his beautiful toy gets a little nicked up or dinged, or he gets injured or something where he has to use him. I hate for that to happen, but that's what it seems to be because he is so enamored by him, and that he's continuing to use him, and he's forgetting about what he has. So you kind of got to take that tool away, take that knife away, now use this knife. You know what I'm saying? Because he got too much stuff going on. So that's just my analogy of it. I hope he gets it together because I feel like he got a good enough team this year. Of course, every team is missing some pieces, but I feel like we have enough to get to the playoffs and at least win one game. But like I said, what he has to do is quit overthinking. That's why I would think he would just give up the play calls to another person so he could take it out of his hands. So when it gets crucial and getting tight in the game, he can be an overseer of the whole offense, of the whole team, and make the calls as a whole team head coach instead of concentrating on offensive play calling in situational football, which he's not good in. He may be good at drawing up plays and drawing up drives and this, that, and the third, but he's not good at situational football. That's where he really lacks at the most.
Mhm. But if you look at how our offense is being ran compared to Tennessee, who's still running the same playbook that Coach Malarkey left, they use Derrick Henry in the same way that we should use Tyler Algier. Because when Tajay Sharp comes in the game, or Tajay Spears, I can't think of his last name correct at this moment. Tajay is doing the same thing that we could do with Bijan. Once that defense is tired or they load the box, Tajay eats because they don't know which way he's coming from. So he's catching the ball out the backfield. He's running traps and outside read, outside zone. The thing is, we have the same playbook, and Tennessee is using the playbook in the way that it was supposed to be used.
I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry to stop you because see, you remember draft day?
Mm-hmm.
And I called it. I said Tajay Spears literally was the same kind of back, but he runs a little bit harder and he can run between the tackles. And I said that's what separated him from Bijan. And I got laughed at. And I said he should have been the guy that we took, and we could have got him a little bit lower and picked up a defensive lineman, which I think we should have done, or at least an offensive lineman. And I said that, not taking away from Bijan because he's a talent. However, Tajay Spears does it all. Catches out of the backfield, pass blocks well, and he can run between the tackles, and it's hard to bring him down. He's a faster version of Tyler Algier, and we found that out firsthand. Our defense did. And when you look at a guy like that, what do you think he would have brought to the offense? You mentioned that name, and I just want to hear your opinion on this.
With Tajay, in Tennessee's offense, he's the perfect number 2 behind Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
With our offense, the thing is, who's the lead back? Because we don't know. We're doing a running back by committee. We don't have a legitimate number 1 who's gonna tote the rock 20 to 30 times a game.
Agreed.
So once we figure that out, and whether that be Cordero or whether that be Tyler, Bijan can play the same role. The thing with Tyler that he's not the elusive receiving back that Bijan is. Yes, he can catch the ball, but he's not the kind of guy that you get in open space that he's gonna make you miss.
Yeah.
You get Bijan in open space, he's gonna make 2, 3, 4 people miss, and he's gonna scamper his way to the end zone. Tyler Algier is more of a between the tackles, drag out 4 to 5 yards because every time he runs the ball, he leans forward. So he's getting additional yards. So once Coach Smith figures out like how to actually, like K-Dub was saying, situational football, because why are we trying to throw a bomb on first down or second down when it's 1 yard? Mm-hmm. Put the ball in your power back's hand. Give it to Cordero. Give it to Tyler. Or you can even run a bootleg and get Desmond out the pocket. But with if Tajay was on this team, I feel like he would almost be playing the same role as Bijan right now. I just feel he would be more effective because he can run between the tackles. Bijan isn't that kind of guy. He's never been that kind of guy.
He wasn't that guy in Texas like that, though.
He was never. He didn't even run. Yeah. He didn't run through between the tackles in Texas. Most of his runs was outside zone.
Yep.
He did run faster than everybody, and he outran everybody, but he never ran between the tackles. That's not his game.
So wait a minute. So Turbo says he don't agree that the games were too close, and he said masterful would be anytime we could play a quarter from that game and it looks masterful. Here's the thing. You look at the time of possession that they've had in those games. You look at how they outgained those teams. You look at the fact that outside of the defense, the offense was very effective to keep the defense on the bench so they could stay rested, and they scored the points that was needed to win a game. And we didn't have really too many blunders in those games. That's what I mean when I say masterful. It's like I said, it's not going to be a Shanahan type of offense, period.
No, we're not putting up 35
points. We say
points.
masterful. We're talking about a smash mouth type of game where it's physical on both sides. Ritter was able to throw the ball pretty well in the Green Bay game. He was effective in the Houston game. He had 300 yards passing. So when you say masterful for an Arthur Smith offense, that was a masterful game.
Not
Now
the
we can agree to disagree on that one, and I get it. But and we don't want. And here's the thing: we're some of the first ones that we feel like Arthur Smith got to go. But I'm gonna give the man credit for the wins that he did have and the way that he called those games. You can't take that away from him.
yeah.
But
Because it took
definitely.
a lot of let's put it this way. It took for him to have ice water in his veins and a heartbeat to call that 4th and 1 where he put the ball in Bijan's hands and trusted him that where he got 2 4th downs in that game. Crucial 4th downs in that game. So, I got to give him his credit, but we're gonna go ahead and keep moving forward because we've been on that topic for a little bit. AJ Terrell is in concussion protocol still. After the Jets game, we'll find out more about his availability coming up next week. Next man up, Clark Phillips III. You got to do your thing. Jeff Okuda, you had a rough week. Everybody's entitled to one because people are like, oh, he's trash. He's a liability. Newsflash, ladies and gentlemen. That boy there has been holding it down while AJ's been getting cooked this year. So if you're saying that Jeff Okuda is trash, y'all out your rabbit.
Yeah, Okuda did practice today. Just a heads up to everybody out there. So hopefully he plays this week. He did practice today.
Yeah, him and other defensive tackle.
Now the next thing we're gonna bounce to is Desmond Ridder. He's talking about his goals for this week. So 3 goals he talked about, pretty much being able to play a game where he's not turning over the ball, outside of not turning over the football, being able to have a 3-game winning streak because we've been on 2-game winning streaks, then we lose, and then we'll win one. And he wants consistency. And he's saying it starts from his play with not just being the quarterback, but also handling the football as well. That, it comes to that. So we're gonna explore that Sunday when he has his opportunity because for some reason he's money at home. It's on the road that I get nervous.
Yeah.
But eventually it'll come around. So Ritter's talking about doing that. Those are some of his goals to continue winning ball games and really being able to continue to grow and be a leader.
I like that.
I just feel like this receiving core and these running backs, the offense as a whole, man, make this quarterback look good. Go out there, make some plays. Go out there, make some plays that you should make. Go out there, make some one-handed catches. Go out there and get some balls that are low, that are too low, but you get it up before it hit the ground. I mean, make some plays. Make your quarterback look great.
But here's the thing, though, K-Dub. The wide receiver are not getting separation. And that's been one of our biggest Achilles heels on offense. Get the start of the season. They cannot get separation from the defender.
But that's
because we don't have that's because we got a quarterback being a doggone wide receiver coach. Let's keep that a buck. You got a quarterback being a wide receiver coach. Arthur Smith, get off your ass, get on the good foot, call Terrence Mathis, call Roddy White. Please. If you're not going to hire them as coaches, hire these guys to come in during the week and help these guys learn how to run routes. Please. Please do.
No, he need to bring them in, man. Whoever you got, fight their ass today.
Because right now, I'm just saying, Desmond Ridder only trusting 2 wide receivers.
Yeah, he only trusts Kyle Pitts right now and Drake London. Because his name, Jefferson is inconsistent with his hands. Mac Hollis is not around right now. We need Mac Hollis back.
But that's why I feel like in this draft, we're going to go get a different type of receiver. We're going to go offense again, not maybe in the first round, but we're going to have a guy to offset all these trees we got out here. We need a guy that can get separation. We need guys that can run different types of routes and get open.
It's going to be kind of deep, this next year.
Here's the thing that I think is the biggest piece to this offensive puzzle. The average quarterback time to throw the ball is, I believe, it's 3.2.
Right.
Atlanta is giving Desmond Ridder 2.2 to 2.5. So he has 2 seconds to scan the field, find an open receiver, and get the ball there to him, whether it's in the tight window, short window, whatever the case is. Until our offensive line can actually give him more time to set his feet where he's not rushing to throw the ball or he's not, running for his life, our receivers are doing it. Like, and I've said it before, I like Drake London. He's never been known as a great route runner, even in college. He didn't.
Well, he's apparently gotten. He put in the work, and he's gotten better at it because
he's gotten.
From what I've seen, the past 8-9 weeks or whatever, when he's beating these receivers, and he's using his body. He's learned to use his body to be able to separate him from the ball. So even if he's not beating them on the route concept and shaking them off of the stick, you know what I'm saying? He's able to use that big body of his to pretty much keep separation between that receiver. I mean, between him and the ball. It's hard to respect.
So
and that's something that I can roll with on that. Hollis is still injured, Anthony.
But here's the thing: Desmond has to get him the ball. That's the problem. Our offensive line isn't giving him the time to, when Drake does have the time or the space to get to the ball is either behind him, over him, or it's too short. So we need Desmond, one, to be a lot more accurate with the football. We need him to be better in his decision-making with the football. And we need the offensive line to hold up to give him the time to do those things. But it all starts with Desmond, because if he uses his legs, that pass rush is going to fall back, because now they have to worry about, is he going to run? Is he going to throw? What's going to happen? So now they're going to be, instead of just pinning their ears back and going, now they got to think about it.
Let them
do
think.
We go all out, or do we kind of, watch for the run? So Desmond has to be more, cognizant of that and say, hey, I can run the ball. I can beat these guys. Once you start picking up 3, 4, 5 yards of carry, those guys are going to droop off. They're going to fall back. And then that's where you get to pick them apart. But until Desmond does that, I mean, we're going to be in the same predicament we in week in and week out.
But just like I was saying earlier, to piggyback off what you were saying, Coach, it's the same thing I was just saying, man. They got to make him look good. He's not going to make the accurate pass. He's not a pinpoint accurate person. He does have to use his legs. That's the motto of our show. That's the motto of our season. He needs to use his dang legs more and more to stretch that defense out, to stress them out, to stretch them out. Keep on stretching them with them legs. These are the years that you can use your legs. Because 3 years from now, when you're beat up from getting hit in the NFL, you're not going to want to use your legs. So right now, use those legs. I mean, you need to be using at least once or twice in each drive. Once or twice. You got to keep those guys guessing, keep them honest, and keep them from coming after you. Because I will take off and I will mark the first down. Let's go. That's what they need to see. Because you got to help that run game out. That'll help your quarterback, not the quarterback, but that'll help your head coach and your offensive coordinator call the plays better, because there'll be a short yardage situations.
Not only that, you're going to help the defense, because they're going to get that much needed rec when you convert on third down.
Then Bankhead base can be Bankhead.
But here's the thing, though. We got to put ourselves in a situation where if we're going to have the long haul of this team when it comes to the playoffs, we got to have this offense to be able to click. And with Ritter and his goals, we need these goals to be accomplished and these goals to be met. Because if these goals can be met, I really believe that the defense is going to keep us in ball games and we wouldn't get blowed out. And we got a chance. As a wild card team, we have a chance, because there have been teams that have not looked good. You understand what I'm saying? Throughout the season. And then when it comes time for the playoffs, they become gangbusters. So I really believe that we got a shot.
Yeah.
I said this was going to be a 10-win season. I've been saying it. They have a chance to have 10 wins.
That's what I said, 10 to 11.
I think it's going to be along the trajectory. They've made it a little bit harder on themselves, because right now we would really be close to or have 10 wins right now. You understand what I'm saying?
They're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done.
And here's the thing that I'll say.
We should be 8-4.
When it comes to these 10 wins, the Falcons definitely have control of this division right now. You win Sunday, you sitting in the driver's seat, hand on that steering wheel, and guess what? You leaning. But you can't get complacent because the division is weak. So you get Carolina again. You go to Chicago and that's going to be a freezing cold game. But
go to field.
And Chicago is terrible.
Our quarterback played in that cold. He did pretty good in New York with that rain. So
when you grow up in Louisville, Kentucky, and then you go to college at University of Cincinnati and you playing in the wintertime, he should still be acclimated to it. And he's only been in Atlanta for a year. His blood ain't thin yet. So he still should be able to do that. But I'll say this: Tyler Algier, Cordell Patterson type of game in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
No need to throw the ball. That defense is trash, and so is their offense. That should be a game where we hang 35 on them. That's just my opinion. That's a game where we hang 35.
Minimum.
Now, the game that I don't have confidence in, and I'll admit it, and I honestly see we could trip up playing against the Colts. That is going to be a hard game.
Oh, they defense solid.
The Colts have figured out how to win now. And Richardson ain't really been playing because he's been hurt. So now that you have somebody and some continuity there, you're looking at these guys like, okay, this is going to be one of those games where you just sit back and say, well, it's time to get to it. Like as the old school ATLians used to say, hey, let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? That's all I remember hearing them say that back in the day when I was coming up. And now you're gonna have a team that's willing to hit you in the mouth more than you're willing to, than you're willing to hit them. And we're gonna see what kind of fight it's gonna be. Because that's the game that I feel like can trip us up. New Orleans, we already know what we're getting into with the Saints. It's a rivalry game. We already know we're going to their house, and we already know that you're not just gonna be playing the Saints. You're going to be playing the refs as well because they always get favored at home. We didn't even get favored in our house against the Aints. And it was obvious. So it's going to be much worse when we go to that toilet bowl of a stadium that's called Caesar's Palace or whatever the heck it's called. You know what I'm saying? The stinking gumbo pot. That's what I call it. Yeah. But getting back to it, let's go ahead and get on this here. Drew Dalman quietly, even though he sucks at snapping the ball, he still has been botching snaps. Say what you want, but it's been happening because we've been, a lot more than I would like to see. But Pro Football Focus is actually giving him a good rating. He's within the low 80s. I'm sorry, the low 80s, around 82, 83. That's what they had him rated as. What you talking about? You're talking about a guy that comes off on blocking, pass protection. He's been solid. Can't take that away from him. He's been solid. It's the snaps that's killing him.
Look, I'm not falling for the banana and tail part. We still need a center.
I'm still saying it. I'm just pointing something out because it was mentioned by Pro Football Focus, and I felt like our fans needed to hear that they gassing this dude up.
I'm gonna tell Pro Football Focus, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. Okay, I don't care what you said, whisper to anyone.
No, but we ain't gonna get too heavy into it.
Dalman got to get his snaps right, but I think we should be in the market for drafting the center. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. But the one thing about Dalman, he seals the middle of that defense, and he creates more holes for Bijan and Tyler because he's a great block. He can block great. He's a stand-up guy.
Cut Mcgary and make him a guard. He's 6'3", 300 pounds. Make him a guard.
Have we not just we discussed this though? We've discussed this already because you have Bergeron playing one side, you get Dalman on the other, and now all we really need is the right tackle because Jake is going to be here for another 2 years. If we get a right tackle and a center,
one of them gone.
It will be set on the offensive line.
Cut your losses.
Hey, look, in the offseason, one of them gone. Matthews or Grady Jarrett, one of them gonna be gone this offseason.
This is my thing. You cut your losses with Mcgary. I'm sorry. You cut your losses with him. He still got value for other teams that might want to draft him. You cut your losses with him.
Just not here.
And once you cut your losses with Mcgary, you move Dalman, so you don't have to draft a guard. You move a guy that's experienced right into that guard position because that was what he played, you know what I'm saying, at one point. Hendall been doing his thing, but here's the thing. Dalman grew up in Temple University playing guard and center. They rotated him. So he's a better guard than he is a center. And if you look at the holes that he's been creating and the push that he's creating, imagine what he can do on the side with a Matthews, or you draft another left tackle so you can start getting situated to where you can have a Matthews grooming a young player that's going to be coming in to take his spot. You understand what I'm saying? You bring that dude in.
And you get Andrew Dalman pulling? Come on, man. Like
Drew Dalman, think about this. Drew Dalman is a guard, and he's got a quick first step. So you're talking about a guy that could get into the alley and clean up a lot of trash and create more alleys for Tyler Algier and create more alleys for Cordell Patterson and everybody else that's involved. So for me, I'm not getting rid of him. I'm going to move him from being a center to being a doggone guard. Like, a lot of people don't know this. Anybody that's been around, and we know one of our guys that's been around for the longest now, he knows this. Shout out to our guy, Damian Mitchell, son of legendary Falcons tight end Jim Mitchell. Damian knows this very well. Jeff Van Note was drafted as a defensive lineman. He originally was a defensive lineman coming out of Kentucky, but he was a high school quarterback. That was the reason why he was an intelligent center. And you talk about, I compared him to Alex Mack for a reason, and that was because of the intelligence that he had. And that's something that a lot of people don't talk much about when it comes to that cat. That dude was highly intelligent at that center position. That was because of it. He had the physicality because he was a defensive lineman. Now you move him over to a guard position where he doesn't have to snap the ball, and all he has to do just go get him.
I mean, if you wanted to leave him at center, that's fine. You can have a rotating, because he's a great run blocker, but we need a guy that's great for pass blocking at that center position.
But here's the thing, though. We would have to definitely go into the draft and go get a kid, because everybody's talking about a veteran.
Van Pran sound real good.
Yo, him and that boy from Iowa, those are the two cats that sound real good right about now. If you're gonna draft anybody, but
or the center from Washington, because
I like.
You like that whole Washington squad.
Hey man, they got some dog on their team.
Man, I like that. Everybody poo-pooing Washington. They ain't talk about them in that Final Four, but that's what I'm talking.
Think about it. Their center is 6'3", 290, I believe.
He a biscuit away from
agile.
He a biscuit away from 300 pounds.
297.
And the boy is quick, and he's smart. He knows where he needs to be on every play. I have yet to see him give up a sack in the 3 years that he's been the starter.
Well, maybe Atlanta goes back out west and drafts another Washington Husky, because Caleb Mcgary definitely didn't pan out. Your boy, what's the cornerback's name that we
Desmond
had?
Trufant.
Straight trash.
He had a couple good years. I
already know.
That Joker got burnt like some honey baked toast. Stop it. That Joker was horrible, man. That Joker was as bad as a burnt cheddar biscuit at Red Lobster. That's how bad it was.
How dare you?
That man had a couple good years. He wouldn't have stayed in the league that long. He didn't have a couple good years.
You see what I got right here in this screen, right? Trash can. Straight trash. Hot garbage, sir. But
I'm pretty disagree on that one.
Well, we see how long he lasted after he left Atlanta. That was a Dan Quinn project there, sir.
He got Detroit for like 2 years, wasn't he?
And he was hurt majority of the time and sat the bench because he lost his job.
But I understand, but that's why he's out the league, because of injuries. I'm not gonna say that he played that bad.
Oh no, when he got to Detroit, he was washed. because
he wasn't better
he
than his
didn't.
brother.
No, but think about it. That's his cousin. He didn't think about this, man. He survived off of that last name. I've said that for the
Yeah,
longest.
I give him that. I give him
That's
that.
just like Matthews right now. Matthews is a solid offensive lineman, but we know he's not going to be his dad. We already know that. His dad was a unicorn of offensive lineman because
His dad, the reason why he's still on the team.
His dad
That's
a
why
different breed.
His dad played every position on that offensive line because Warren Moon, the legendary Warren Moon, actually talked about it. He said he's the only man that I know for a big man that big to be that nimble on his feet. He said normally you hear when guys are stepping, you don't hear when he steps. So Warren Moon was like, he played center for me for a year. He was a guard, he was a tackle, and he played every spot on the line. So when you talk about a unicorn, that is a unicorn right there. True football player. Now, getting to this Falcons game or whatnot. I apologize. I put up the wrong info, but it's the same. But here's the thing: the Falcons are actually favored over the Bucs by 2.5 points, exactly like the Jets. So Falcons are favored by 2.5 points in this game. And the thing is, the Bucs defense is solid. It's a rivalry game. Throw the records out of the window. Baker, we're at home, but still, Baker Mayfield's gonna make plays unless this defense can get pressure on him. It was good to see Arnold Ebiketie finally looking like he was shot out of a cannon and made a hell of a play with that sack when we really needed it. But we need this to be consistent.
I just feel like the man is developing, and we got to let people develop. So he's slowly coming around.
Yeah.
What about Marlon?
You gotta let him develop, but at the same time, you're in a position now where you've had enough games under your belt. You know what I'm saying? And
he's also had other people that are playing in front of him because and now he's getting more time in the rotation to make plays. So I just feel like some people come around slower than others. Some people are, bona fide starters as soon as they get get into the organization, and some people take some time, a season or two, to come around. I just feel like I'm glad that he stick to his guns. Terry Fontenot and basically gave heedance to his the draft picks that he had and gave faith to them to let the guys come around and develop.
True. Now, let's talk about it. So the tail of the tape, ladies and gentlemen. The Tampa Bay Bucs right now are literally a team that is up and down. They're up and down with their offense.
They're dysfunctional. That's what they are.
Yeah. They're when you look at it, their season, they're 67 out of 166 on third down conversions. They have 213 first downs. When you look at it, 56 rushing first downs, 129 passing first downs, and you have 28 first downs that are by penalty. Now, if you look at what they've given up to opponents 73 rushing first downs, 153 by passing, and 16 by penalty. Now, they don't get penalized much. I got to give them that. But when it comes to it, they get gashed, with the run and with the pass. You can beat them, but you have to be balanced when you beat them. Now, here's the thing, they average 295 yards a game, which means they're averaging only 3.5 yards per carry. So that's manageable for the Falcons because the Falcons defense has yet to at all this season give up a rushing touchdown. Mm-hmm. So this is a game that we're not going to try to give it up in, at all. With them, they also have, with their total passing yards for the season, they only have 2,790 passing yards. That's I would say that's a bit mediocre, but they average 260 a game. With those wide receivers that they have in that offense, they should be averaging more, in my opinion. But what they do give up is this. They give up 300 yards a game, and their opponents average 3.94 yards per carry. So you're getting almost close to half of a first down every time you touch the ball. They give up 3,300 yards passing yards, and then you have how many sacks that they ended up getting. They give up they've given up. They've gotten 27 sacks, but they've given up 37 sacks on the year. And the turnover ratio for them right now is they average at least 4. They have 4 turnovers. They average at least 2 to 3 turnovers a game. So when you look at the Bucs, their offense really isn't the best. We should be able to handle Tampa Bay in this ballgame with our defense.
On the thing there, though, Mike Evans.
Okay.
Mike Evans over 1,000 yards with 10 of them things, 10 tugs. So for me, secondary have to make they ain't gonna stop them, but they can't contain them. And that also starts
slow them down.
Right. And that also starts with up front with our front seven, being able to make Baker Mayfield uncomfortable in that pocket and not giving him time to freaking throw the football and whatnot. We have to make him like we have to get he has to get hit. He had to get hit. He got to get hit this game. He cannot come out the field dry.
It ain't even just about getting hit. It's about knocking their jock strap loose. I want a jock strap. Boom. I want a jock strap shake and hit. Well, when you hit them, you know the jock strap just fall down to the ankles and they just look at you and say, I don't want it no more. I want to see one of those. Mike Evans, here's my thing. DeMarco Hellams, I'm going to issue a challenge to you, young buck. I'm okay with you catching a 15-yard penalty if you set the tone with a big hit.
Oh, you gonna do it.
You don't target. I'm willing to take that because when you set the tone in New Orleans game, everything changed. You gotta have somebody that's willing to set that tone. And here's the thing: if I'm Ryan Neilsen and if I'm Ryan Neilsen, I'm gonna pay for your fine. I take care of that. Me and Coach Gray, we gonna take care of that. We gonna take care of that fine. And the way that that's gonna happen, Evans is gonna come down the field for a slant or a streak. It's gonna happen. And when he comes down that field, Baker's gonna hang it. If you get a chance to get a pick, cool. But if you don't think you're gonna get an interception, go ahead and take him out. Give him a good shot, shoulder right in the sternum, because he's gonna look like this. And if he's like this, you can hit him right there in the chest.
Yeah.
I mean, like I say, just to do a good job of slowing them down. And like I said, I don't want any cheap or dirty shots. But I feel like we should be able to get this win, man. We control the clock, keep the ball on the ground, play excellent defense, bank head baits, bait them into an interception or two, and then we got the game.
Because with us, depending on if Okuda or AJ Terrell play, you're going to have either D. Alford or CP3 guarding him. So you're going to need to have either DeMarco Hellams, Richie Grant. No, Marco Hellams. I'm not even gonna say Richie because he's gonna give up the draws. Marco has to be over the top at all times. Because the thing with Tampa, they don't want to play Chris Godwin. They say he's injured and he say he's fully healthy. And so what other legitimate receiving threat do they have? They don't run the ball well. And Baker's gonna give you one, maybe two in the game.
Oh yeah, he's gonna give you one.
He gonna give up the draws, bro. We
already
know
exactly.
Baker Mayfield is good for giving up the draws. But speaking about giving up some draws, I got something for you that you might want to think about. This is big for our offensive line. A familiar face is going to emerge for Mcgary again. It's one of our topics. Storm Norton will be making another appearance with the offense this year, and that's because Mcgary is hurt. My thing is, I don't think Storm Norton should have been put to the bench because if you notice when he played when Mcgary was hurt originally, that dude there was a problem. He wasn't a turnstile. He didn't give up the draws. He didn't have stupid penalties. This was a guy who was in a position to where he was hitting everything that moved.
No, the key thing is the front office don't like to be wrong about picks, man. I mean, It's
Man,
there to it's there to.
They've been
No,
wrong quite a few times.
I understand what you're saying. It's right there in their face. We made a mistake with Mcgary. This guy's better, but it's gonna, now you see how fast they put him back in the lineup that Mcgary went down with, what he went down with. So, they'll see it. It just takes time.
Can I? I'm
Because
gonna
he
go ahead and say
solidifies.
this. And,
He
and this ain't
solidifies the
against
right
nobody
side.
on the panel. I get what you're saying when you say they don't like to be wrong. Swallow your pride. Have some humility, and it's okay if you're wrong. We ain't mad about that. We're pissed off at the fact that you got somebody who can ball and he can outplay the guy that you paid that money to. My thing is cut your losses. Use Mcgary, even if you got the bench him. I don't give a darn about his ego. The reason I'm gonna give you this: the reason why Bill Parcells was successful, he didn't care about a player's ego.
No,
That was what made him great. Bill Walsh, he didn't care about a player's ego. Mike Holmgren.
No, I didn't say that about the ego. I said the organization don't like to be
But
wrong.
here's the thing, though. They had to go against the grain with the organization because this is when your head coach, this is how you make your money, and this is how you separate yourself from the pack. Sometimes you got to go against your front office and do what you got to do because this is a job where he can do that. Because his front office, you can sit back on the side and do this, but you're not in the meeting rooms. You're not breaking down film. You just show up on Sundays, sign the checks. You come to practice. You pretty much have the endorsement deals going on and everything else with the organization. You handle the business. You handle the Monday through Friday business of this team. But you're not coaching this team to help put asses in seats.
No.
So in this situation, Arthur Smith you got to buck the system in this one. You got a young quarterback in Ritter that you need to protect. And you got a guy in Storm Norton who can protect. And he can also block very well and protect your franchise running back that you just drafted. Mm-hmm. So I'm at a point where I just need them to win and win by any means. As much as I hate to say it, hell, that's the reason why Nick Saban and damn Alabama dropped Georgia last Saturday because he was willing to win at all costs. Mm-hmm. And you saw guys that struggled. He was starting some guys that had never even played and put them in positions because he understood the moment. Arthur Smith has yet to grasp that concept of understanding the moment. You got a guy that y'all need to sign long term. And I'm tipping my cap to Terry Fontenot for bringing that boy over from New Orleans. Yeah. Terry has done it.
Oh, he's gonna get it done. He's just probably like wait till the offseason. I'm gonna give him one of the Terry Fontenot deals.
Oh yeah. Hey, it's like this, man. If we could have some kind of petition to take that money back that they paid Mcgary, take that money from Mcgary and put that money into Storm Norton's direct deposit for his account.
Absolutely. Because if you look at how our offensive line is built, right? 82% of our runs are to the left side of the ball.
Right.
We run to the left because the right side of the ball is the turnstile. Mcgary and what's the other guy? Lindstrom. They are not great run blockers. Neither one of them are. Lindstrom is a great pass blocker, but he's not agile enough to get out there and actually seal off where our backs can get around him and run off his butt. He's not built that way. Storm Norton, when he came in the game, he solidified the right side of the ball. Jonnu Smith is on the left-hand side. Kyle Pitts is on the right. And we all know Kyle Pitts is not the greatest blocker. So if you're going to stagger your line, you want to have your best tackles and you stagger the weaker guys to the inside and you put your best black and tight ends on the outside. That way you stagger the line. But we have one power side and we legitimately have a strong side and a weak side. And the weak side gets taken advantage of every single week. So you cannot gain 6 yards of carry to the left side and only like 1.8 on the right. It has to be a balanced run because teams need to be able to respect both sides of the ball.
And
they
don't
respect the left side, but when we run to the right, they load up on that side and they bring everyone down. So until we figure that out, or we put Storm where he should be anyway, we're going to continue to struggle on the right side of the ball because Kyle Pitts ain't blocking nobody. He couldn't block himself out of a bag. So, so at the end of the day, we have to get better with our blocking scheme, and that all starts with our head coach, our offensive lineman coach, and our scheme coordinator. But again, it's too many Indians right now. I'm sorry, too many Chiefs, not enough Indians.
Now, here's the thing. Now, you just said something. Now, I'm going to give you this. And yeah, I'm going to my historical roots, and I don't, and it's just what it is.
About to go down.
Look at the 1976 Oakland Raiders offensive line. You had two Hall of Famers on one side with Gene Upshaw, and then you had Art Shell. And you look at the center. They had Dave Dalby. His nickname was the Pig. Short, strong, stout, smart. Now, the most intelligent guy on that offensive line was a guy by the name of George Bueller.
Beginning to look like goodbye forever.
My bad.
I'm like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to give you this. George Bueller was the most intelligent guy on the line. He was a very smart guy. And if it wasn't drawn up a certain way, it just didn't get executed. Chris Lindstrom is your George Bueller. Smart, tough, physical. I'm going to give you who your mauler is. There's a guy that his nickname was Happy Fella, but wasn't nothing happy about him. His name was John Vella, one of the most aggressive tackles to ever play the game. John Vella was a man, a man's man. That's the best way to describe it. And like Phil Villapiano says, you don't upset Happy Fella. That is Storm Norton. You don't upset it. Because Storm Norton doesn't mind taking the penalty for being rough with a guy. He don't. That was John Vella. But the thing about Norton is this. When you run to his side, as my guy Anthony Booker put out there, Bijan Robinson runs more north and south because he feels protected and he knows that guy right there, he ain't going to miss an assignment. He ain't going to miss an assignment. And outside of not missing an assignment, he knows if somebody takes a shot at him, he knows that dude got his back. And you trust that. And that's that gang-like mentality. And to me, that was what made that. And to me, I'll say this. A lot of people say the Wall of Dallas was the greatest offensive line in history. That's up for debate because there's so many great ones that were around. Steelers' offensive line was good, but it was something about that 76 Raiders team where you look at it, man. It was you have four type Hall of Fame players on that line. The media just gotta think against the Raiders, period. But that offensive line kept Kenny Stabler clean the majority of his career. And Stabler was a statue in the pocket, and he took forever to throw. So that tells you if he's got 5 seconds to throw the football damn near every game, what does that tell you about how good that line was? I feel like we have characteristics of that line in the running game with certain players. If we can ever put that together, we'll have one of the most dominant offensive lines in the league. That's my opinion. Because Philly right now, everybody talks about Jalen Hurts and Philly and all this. I'm going to tell you this here. Everybody loves a feel-good story. Everybody loves, and I'm not going to lie. It's a lot of, and it's sad to say it, but it's a lot of Falcon fans who are dog fans who secretly pull for the Eagles. And they've come out and said they pull for them because of the dogs. And I saw this in the chat. I removed that comment, and I'm gonna tell you right now, yes, I did. Understand this. It's either red and black or nothing at all in Dirtybirdz land, Falcons nest. We ain't doing that mess where you straddling the fence. You either a dog or you're not. But it is what it is, man. But like I said, I think we're going to be all right coming up next season. And, coming up next season in the draft. But I think playoff-wise, we're going to be even better. But as for now, we're going to end the night on this. I really feel that we're going to be in a spot where we are going to host that playoff game in Atlanta. And we beating Dallas or Philly. One or the other. I'm saying it. If I'm wrong, hell, I'm wrong. But we beating Dallas or we gonna beat Philly when they come to our house. Because if Dallas wins on Sunday, we got to see the Eagles. The good thing is they come to our house. But the challenge I'm the issue is this. We're gonna handle our business. Falcon fans, do not let them come in our house and take over our house if we get them in the playoffs. Period. And if they do, make it hostile as hell for them.
Oh, they coming.
I believe we're gonna show up. We ain't been in the playoffs so dang long. I think we're gonna be ready to rock.
You ain't lying.
Can you imagine if we get the Philadelphia Eagles, who was projected to go back to the Super Bowl, and we upset them? We playing with house money for the rest of the season, really. Because our division, nobody ain't giving us a chance. Don't nobody believe in us except for people that wear red and black or wear this logo. That's the only people that's believing. And then the sad is our fan base is split with that because a lot of them don't even believe.
Oh yeah.
I believe we get in, it's 0-0 on the schedule, and it depends on who shows up that day. And for some reason, in the pit of my stomach, I really believe that the Falcons are gonna do something this year in the playoffs.
Like I said,
it's gonna be one up, even if we get put out, we gonna upset one of the favorites out of this.
Yeah, like we've been saying for the last couple of weeks, this is almost like a Cinderella story. March Madness. If you get in and you get hot at the right time and you're clicking on all levels, we already have great home field advantage. When our crowd show up, they show up and they show out.
Yeah.
So if we can get in, we have a puncher's chance. I'm not counting my boys out because again, it's any given Sunday. They made a movie about it. Yeah. Any given Sunday, a team can be beat. The worst team can beat the best team. And if I'm not mistaken, the Jets without Aaron Rodgers beat the Eagles.
Oh, yeah.
And let's just say this, because I know we all got early mornings tomorrow because we could go at this all night, but definitely ain't going to do it. I'll say this to wrap this thing up. We're in a situation right now. A lot of teams, and I've talked to some of my coworkers up here. They all say, we don't want to play Atlanta because guess what? It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a physical game, and it's going to be close. And the problem with playing a physical team like in the playoffs that's close, that's playoff football. We can run the ball and we can play defense. That's playoff football. All really got to do is just not turn the ball over, and we can score points, and we continue to keep the main thing. Hey, as I said before, I see the upset happen. That's all I can say. I see the upset happening. So with that being said, we will definitely see y'all on Sunday. Y'all gonna check out this party line on Sunday. I'm speaking this into existence. I don't even want to talk benediction, dog. We in the part of the season where I don't see benediction. We win this game Sunday, we pretty much control our own destiny because we're gonna have a significant lead, and then we get Carolina the week after. We get Carolina the next week. So you win this game and you win next week, you pretty much punched your ticket.
Yeah.
And you take the division. So we gonna do this thing. We gonna see y'all next Thursday, man. We love y'all. Y'all be easy out here. Enjoy your families. Enjoy the holidays. And continue to stay prayed up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be religious on here for folks, but I'll just go ahead and say it, man. Every day you wake up on the right side of the dirt is a good day. And every day that you can see these Falcons is even a better day. Win, lose, or draw, because this red and black right here, it's a privilege to have the pressure of being a Falcons fan. So with that being said, we love y'all. We hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we're going to see y'all on Sunday, man. It's the BirdCage, dog. We out of here.
Go Army.
Go Army. Go Army.
Peace.
Salute y'all, boys. Let's get it
all day, even on Sunday. Let's get it.
Man, take your shipment behind on.
It's all good. We gotta ship them boys out, man. Yeah, I'm a Coast Guard boy, but it's all Army all day, every day. Army Brad up in here, man. We out of here. Peace.
Army strong.